Hi, my name's David Bell. I'm with the Broaster company out of Beloit, Wisconsin, and today we're going to discuss the Broaster Trademark program as well as go through how to make our signature product, which is genuine Broaster chicken, which this year happens to be 60 years old. What sets us apart is we're a trademark, we are not a franchise. With that said, we try to give you the feel and texture of a franchise. We have the on-site store training. We have all the point of sale to help you pull that product through. The digital menu boards, everything you need in your environment to help you be successful with the chicken program. We just don't feel we need to charge you for that service. We feel we'll teach you how to serve the best products going, and we'll come along for all the breading and marinades and boxes you sell. We don't need to charge you % of your gross to make you successful. With that said, I'm going to jump right into the demo of our genuine Broaster chicken. There are two ways to source your fresh chicken for the genuine Broaster product. The first one is just to order a standard 8-piece cut from your local vendor. The product will come into 8 pieces. What you will need to do is get a marinating vat. I have vats that can hold up to 400 pieces. I have customers that actually marinate in 5-gallon pickle pails. Your volume is going to dictate your need on this. But when your fresh chicken comes in, we're going to want to clean and trim it. In cleaning and trimming, we want to grab each piece, give it a visual inspection. Sometimes there's some, in the breast that I'm holding now, sometimes there is a little extra neck on top we'll want to clean off, make sure there's no parts sticking to the inside. On the legs, again, a visual inspection. We just want to pull up the socks, if you would, make sure the skin's nicely covered. In the wings, we just, again, visual inspection. We want to make sure there's no pin feathers, anything sticking out. The thighs, there's usually a little work to. You're going to have an extra flap of skin and fat we want to trim off towards the bottom. We do want to pop our thumb in here, dig the kidney out, and we do want to snap the thigh bone. Once we do that, our chicken can go right into our marinating vessel, and we just simply mix 6 ounces of chickite, which is the Broaster marinade, to 1 gallon of cold tap water, and we simply cover the chicken until it is completely submerged in the marination. We want to shoot for 10 to 14 hours or an overnight marination. We do not want to go longer than 24. Once we hit our overnight marinating time, we can simply just drain that product off. At that point, we will simply cover it in an airtight vessel until we're ready to bread the product. The second way to do genuine Broaster chicken, in local markets, we align ourselves with local poultry producers to do a pre-marinated product in our taste profile. I'm in Minnesota today. In this neck of the woods, we have partnered with Golden Plump. Golden Plump makes a product called Chickeye Plus for us. Again, Chickeye's the name of our marination. What's also nice about the Golden Plump product is it is already cleaned and trimmed. So all the messy work and all the trimmings that you would be throwing away is already done for you, which makes it very nice. And then from there, we go right on to the breading process. When we're talking about breading, breading is a really harsh term for what we are doing. It is more of a very light dusting. I took the liberty of breading this ahead of time, which we do ask you to do in our program. When it comes to breading, we have everything from power tumbler breaders to breading stations, right down to the Rubbermaid tubs that you can just drop in, pick up, turn the other side, drop down, pick them up and slap them together, and that is nicely dusted or breaded. We ask you to bread roughly 20 to 40 minutes ahead of time, and there's several reasons for that. The first reason is a messy process. You might as well get it over in your prep instead of worrying about it every time you need to cook a load and trying to bread and drop. The second reason is the breading, as you see on this piece, literally tacks up, almost become translucent. It's just that little of a dusting of breading on there. A matter of fact, in the breast, which is the biggest piece, there are only 5 carbs. There's such little breading on our product. But you can see it tack up. That's good for a couple reasons as well. Now, not only did our marination flavor the protein or the meat to the bone, it is actually driving the taste profile of the breading now. So it has seeped through and flavored the breading. Also, with the breading tacked up like this, we get very little fall off during the cooking process, so we're promoting longer shortening life as we're cooking. Now that our prep is handled, let's take a look at the Broaster manufactured piece of equipment. Broaster is a company that we do bend and make all our own equipment, as well as blend and manufacture all our breadings and seasonings under the same roof. So we are a company that controls the quality of the equipment as well as the ingredients that goes into the finished product to control that quality all the way down to the end user. The model we'll be cooking on today is called a 1600. This is my smallest broaster. And when I say broaster, it is a pressure fryer. We are cooking and shortening, but we are closing the lid, trapping the heat and steam and agitation of the cooking process to build pressure. In a nutshell, what the pressure is doing for us, whenever we introduce pressure to any environment, it raises the boiling point of everything. So even though you see that we do cook at 360, 360 under roughly 14 pounds per square inch is not hot enough to boil the juices in the product while we're cooking it. If we're not boiling the juices out of the product, there's no room for the shortening to be absorbed. So the pressure frying process, even though it isn't shortening, comes out with virtually zero oil absorption, plus it traps all the natural juices and marinades in the product that gives you a moisture content that is night and day versus basically open frying. What you're going to notice about the Broaster manufactured pressure fryer is just the ease of use. This is a unit that basically runs itself. It is very, very user friendly. Our solid state controller can remember up to 10 programs or menus. You can change products at just a touch of a button. Built-in filtration systems, everything you need, very easy maintenance. Let's go ahead and cook some product. What we want to do is open the lid, grab our lifter, and we want to lock it into the basket. The basket actually is going to be submerged into the shortening, and we'll be introducing the product right into the shortening. This is another reason why it's key to have this prep done ahead of time. If we were breading and dropping, we would be making the mess here. This on an apron is not going to cut it. Your employees would have to be at the hand sink washing their hand after every load. Since we have breaded up ahead of time, I'm just going to load with tongs. I'm going to load the bigger pieces first in what I call a clockwise order. I'm thinking 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock. What I am doing is trying not to just pyramid these right on top of each other, but giving them a chance to get down in that shortening and get seared shut. Our goal here is to cook pieces of product and not one big ball of product. There's really no hurry in loading. Loading does take time. That's why we're dropping the bigger pieces first and we're giving them a head start. Once we have the product loaded, we just want to give the basket a quick shake. We want to pull the lid forward. We want to go up and over to close the lid. Then we want to go from open to close. When we do this, there's several things that starts. First of all, it automatically starts your timer. So we're counting down, we're cooking away. That also seals the well shut where we're trapping the steam and agitation, and that's where we're building the pressure during the cooking process. What is also nice about this is now that we're cooking, we can stand here and stare at the machine, but it's not going to cook any faster. So your employees garnishing a plate, flipping a burger, calling on a customer, doing whatever else they need to do during the cooking process. We do not need to address the broaster again until it beeps at us to come back to unload the product. While we are in the cooking process, I just want to point out some features of our controller. As you can see, it will give you a solid countdown of the time remaining in the cycle. It is also telling us that we are at 360. We also have our auto compensation light on, and this is very important. What the auto compensation does is when we start to cook any load, the controller takes a shortening temperature. And by how much that shortening temperature dropped, it has an idea if you're cooking 4 pieces or if you're cooking 32 pieces of full load. And what it does is it compensates for the longer recovery time for the larger loads. I do want to stress if this was on or off, your product would still cook thoroughly and it would be done. What the auto compensation is doing for us is if we do a 4-piece load or a 32-piece load, the color and presentation of that product is going to be identical. We're just guaranteeing an identical quality finished product no matter what load size we are cooking. We also have a high limit that is on, which once again just a safety feature. Everything is redundant. These are extremely safe machines. I feel they are much cleaner than open frying. As you can see, I can be around the unit with no spittering and sputtering. Once again, you can basically walk away from this. When it beeps, we come back and unload. Right now I'm going to demonstrate how you unload a broaster. We have about 30 seconds left, but this is part of the user friendliness that I'm talking about. A lot of my customers have a pop lock button in front, and if your springs do wear out and do not lift the lid up, your employee is exposed to the steam and agitation of opening the lid. Where here we have several safety features built in to where no part of your employee's body should be over the agitation of the cooking process during unloading. Here's the sound of when the load is done, and what we're going to do is we're going to open this nozzle. What that does is release our pressure through an isolated stack in the back. It takes about 30 seconds to release that pressure, if that. Once the pressure is down, we want to push down to disengage a lock. This is a redundant lock in a self-locking cam. Once we unlock it, we come up and over. We also have a tongue and groove feature in our safety splash shield here that's directing that steam away from your employee. Once again, we open it up. Our handle is bent out of the way. Right here, we can unload with tongs, but our baskets, which are made out of stainless steel, have a nice feature where we can lock down. Now we have the leverage to pick it up and actually do a bulk dump. And that is the process of cooking genuine Broaster chicken. Once again, the on-site training and everything you need to serve a delicious product that is moist, hot, and steamy that people will come back for again and again. Genuine Broaster chicken can be a standalone concept. It can be as simple as a line item at your local restaurant, or we can be the turnkey chicken program for your C-store. Please look for us in the field, and if you have any questions, give us a call.